days, all these niggas do is hate. Treat you like a bitch, sit back and try to manipulate. Yeah, that's why I got it on my own too. You see me rockin' with the Hebrews. UPK is how we do. Stand for the Lord, the mother niggas is see-through.
Where the soldiers at? Where the soldiers at?
Wake your game up, my nigga. Ain't no time for this shit. I know you sitting back thinking that life is a bitch. Yes, my nigga, I understand. My nigga, I feel your pain. Yeah. My nigga, we gotta change. This for the can, this for the can.
It's safe to say we curse today, trying to find another way, but all they do is take away. Trying to pray to make a way, while trying to find a safer way. Eat so we can face to face. Please, Lord, save the day, cause everybody in my job always got some shit to say. You might think this shit is crazy, but I deal with this every day. Knowing that we paved the way, I had it up to here today. Listen to the shit to say, make me wanna catch this case, or even if they face away. But I know what them scriptures say. We gon' wait on judgment day, thinking it ain't coming, thinking the Lord bluffing. Waiting on the day it's gonna be hotter than the oven, though they treat me like a slave. Wanna see me in the grave, hate to see a nigga brave, hate to see a nigga brave. It's hard at my job, but I'll be too wide, knowing that this crackers gon' get it no problem. It's hard at my job, but I'll be too wide, knowing that this crackers gon' get it no problem.
Wake your game up, my nigga. Ain't no time for this shit. I know you sitting back thinking that life is a bitch. Yes, my nigga, I understand. My nigga, I feel your pain. My nigga, we gotta change. This for the can, this for the can.
Yo, man, check this shit out, man. Check this out. Out there just like you out there in the street, man. The street. You know what I'm saying? That's for our people out here, man. Yeah. Waking you up from the grave, man. It's 1969. Blacks, Hispanics, Native American, Indian. Check me out, though. Dead man walking. Bullet shots unguided. Same poverty, different hood, yet we divided. Bang coats like pirates. Inside I'm a riot. Mind staying library, so I'ma keep quiet. I'm about to explode from the impact of this pressure. Slay fire breathing dragons as I march the desert. Walk with no sight, your faith will measure. Diamonds made from rock, now that's our body treasure. Born in oppression, forced to maintain. Yoke the iron to wrapped in them prison chains. Animal instincts when niggas is caged. Resorting to violence, here's a plate of my rage. Action without a cause, you living with no life. Killing demons while it's great so you can get right. You say you want the kingdom, you
Let's start from the beginning. It should pop up on the screen. Is that right? Good. Hey, shalom, be more. You know what I mean? It's the history class coming straight out of Baltimore. It's the Isupkbmore. Started out in 1 West 125th Street up there in Harlem, New York, man. We under Commanding General Yohana. We gonna bring out this truth. We don't give a damn who the hell get offended. We gonna bring it out and we gonna do what we do.
That's right.
Look, check it. We gonna go through the history of the wicked. Because we don't know these people, man. We don't know these goddamn people. Look, our ancestors did not properly warn us, and our leaders did not properly warn us as to who these people are and to how they operate. We've seen in the past where they burned down entire cities, hanged brothers, and did all types of atrocious things, but we think they're not capable of that anymore. We don't know these people, man. We don't know these people. Look, for the past 60 years, these oppressors have been living beautifully off of exploiting us, man. They have taken over all of our businesses. They've been able to use our talent in the private sector and get it very cheaply, because our leaders have been selling us very cheaply to our oppressors. It has been a windfall of business conglomerates for white people in America. All right. Not only was they able to take over all of our businesses, they had a ready stock of people that they are able to exploit in any kind of way they need to, which is why they create business models like mass incarceration. We got entire towns that are the number one earning potential is in law enforcement, and the number one earning potential is locking up black men, where the entire counties are supported by locking up and mass incarcerating black people. Like, these people have been living wonderfully and beautifully off of us, and still they've been heinous in murdering us, putting dope in our community, and just being downright unempathetic. Have no respect for the life of black people. If that was us going to that Capitol, we would have never been treated with humanity. We would have never been given empathy. We would have been murdered and shot down where the hell we stood, man.
Right.
But see, this is the thing here. We got to learn and know and understand who the hell these people are, because ain't nobody telling us the truth. They were living wonderfully. They ain't have no reason to come in our cities and towns and slaughter and murder us, man. For what? For what? We murdering each other now. They making so much money off of mass incarcerating us. They making so much money off of their markets, off of the things we produce and the things we think of, and our music and our artistry and our ability to play sports. They making billions upon trillions off of just the NFL, off of just watching Marshawn Lynch and who the hell ever run and throw a goddamn football. They making billions upon trillions off of the NBA. Just think about the sportswear that black people are purchasing and buying, the Jordans, and they're making trillions upon trillions of dollars, man. That has been poured into the American economy because of the exploitation of black people. But guess what? It's kind of coming to a halt. The Lord put He put a halt on that machine. When He brung the coronavirus out, now you got white folks in food lines that ain't never been in food lines before. Shoot, they were parole officers and correctional officers and police officers, and they had every kind of goddamn privilege there is to have. The Lord put a little chink in that. And now you saw the anger. You saw the outright inhumanity of them when they rolled up in that Capitol building. Them steel blue eyes, the same steel blue eyes that you think is wonderful and beautiful, are the same ones your grandfather and great-great-grandfather that was the last thing they saw before they died. And they didn't understand that these people were the goddamn devil. Right before they died, they understood it. Look, but right now we're going to learn who the hell these people are. Who are the wicked on the earth? There is but one people in the Bible. There is but one people, one nation, one race of people that the Lord says they move and push evil out in the earth. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get that real quick before we go to this presentation. Give me Maccabees 1:1 real quick, just before we get it on, if you don't mind, brother.
Maccabees.
First Maccabees.
First Maccabees 1:1.
Yes, sir. Let's get that real quick, and then we gonna get it on. We got a whole presentation we gonna go through tonight. We gonna learn who the hell the wicked is, man. Who the hell they are. You got questions? Give us a call, man. Give us a call. The number is scrolling across the screen. You know, text some questions in if you got some questions. We answer all questions, all right? Because our people, we don't know who the hell these people are, man. We don't know. We gonna find out here tonight. You understand? Just let me know when you got it.
Come.
All right, go ahead.
First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 1. And it happened after that, Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim.
Look, Alexander, the son of Philip, the Macedonian. Everybody knows of Alexander the Great or Alexander the Greek. He was the one, his father Philip was the one that got all the little Greek city-states together and made them into a nation. And when they became that, they agreed on but one thing: to scorch the earth with death and sin, iniquity and barbarism. That's what they agreed on. And they went across the earth pillaging and raping and murdering. How do we know this? The Bible is going to tell it. Now his son Philip the Macedonian, his son Alexander fulfilled that. He went all the way from the shores of the Mediterranean all the way down past Egypt up into India, scorching the earth, man. And not only did he do that, he took his culture, the homosexual culture of Greece, which the ancient name is Chittim. He took that all throughout the lands that he had conquered. Read on, brother.
Had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes.
He went all through Persia and he had smitten Darius. That means he destroyed the armies of Darius and took his land, took his wealth. And he did even more. He made himself a god in those different nations, man. He went on to Egypt and made himself a god. They didn't have white gods in Egypt. These were Africans, man. And we need to stop playing with that. These were black Africans. Those pharaohs were black Africans, man. And he went in there and made himself a lineage. He made himself a goddamn lineage amongst the Africans. All right, read on, brother.
That he reigned in his stead the first over Greece. Verse 2. And made many wars and won many strongholds.
He made many wars, murdered many, euthanized many, murdered many, genocided many, and made many wars. You understand? The same warfare that these people put on us today is the same warfare they spread around the earth, man. To take over your community, to run your community, to have their sexual deviancy rule in your communities. That's essentially what they did throughout the earth. And we're going to get it. It tells it. Read on.
And slew the kings of the earth. Verse 3. And went through to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations.
Look, the greed of these people. If you get further into the Bible, it calls them the great gatherer. Because they will take your culture, your name. They'll rob you of every goddamn thing you have. And I'm talking about not just your treasure. They won't just rape your woman. They will make themselves as gods, inject themselves into your history and have you worshiping them. You don't know these people. You don't know who the hell these people are. Read on, brother.
Insomuch that the earth was quiet before him.
Come on, man. There is no settling with them. There is no peace. There is only continual larceny and robbing of you, man. There can be no peace. There can never be equality. Warfare has been put on us from every angle, brother. He's even turned our woman in our own household against us.
Right.
Who the hell does that? We don't know who the hell these people are, man. Go ahead, brother.
Whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up.
They exult in the evil that they do, man. They're not ashamed of slavery. They're not ashamed of lynching. They're not ashamed of the civil rights movements where they put dogs on black women to bite their breasts off. In their mind, you deserved it. In their mind, they brought civilization to you. In their mind, they helped you. We don't know who the hell these people are, man. Go ahead, brother.
And his heart was lifted up. Verse 4. And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him.
Good night. That's what he wants you to be, black man, woman, and child, a tributary unto him. Somebody that makes him rich, makes him wealthy. And if you can't do that, you can only be in the dirt. If you can't contribute to making him wealthy, there's no other place for you but to be in the goddamn dirt. He wants you to pay tribute unto him as a god. That's what it's about. And do we not worship every part of his society? Worship his wealth? Worship his beauty? Do we not call his hair good hair? And our hair bad hair? We don't know who the hell these people are, man. This is why we have to go through the steps and go back in history of showing and teaching our people who the hell they're dealing with here. Over the past couple of years, they've been docile so much as the way they used to murder us. But you have to understand what's going on, brother. Shalom. You have to understand, though, how much they have been raping us for our resources and our labor. They've stolen centuries of labor from us and built the richest society on the earth. And they have maintained it by the exploitation of black people here in America, man. Read on, brother.
Verse 5. And after these things, he fell sick and perceived that he should die.
Go ahead.
Verse 6. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and he had been brought up with him, Salakia, and had been brought up with him from his youth.
He called in all of his little wicked, evil friends that was out there spreading their homosexuality and they rape and they murder all over the lands that they had taken, man. So Alexander had little sexual deviant little partners that he rode with, man. Right. I can't think of one of their names that start with a P. Is it Perseus?
Perseus?
No, it's not Perseus.
Ptolemy.
No, Ptolemy was one of his generals.
Right.
But it was he had a friend, a lifelong friend. I cannot think of the name right now. But I get it later.
Salakia, sir. This part right here is talking about the 4 generals. Those were the ones that.
Yeah, we gonna get that in a second. Go ahead and read.
Salakia, let me start back at 6 again. Wherefore he called his servants, such were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them, while he was yet alive.
Mm-hmm. He parted. So when he was about to die, he said, well, you gonna rule this, you gonna rule this, you gonna rule this. These were none of their lands to actually rule. But this is the spoils that he had taken via genocide and barbarism. This is what we had taken. But listen close. This is the point I'm about to get to. Listen up. We do not know these goddamn people, man. Listen closely. Read.
Verse 7. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. Verse 8. And his servants bare rule, every one in his place.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 9. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves.
Hold your point 1 second, brother.
Salakia, sir. When we at?
First Maccabees chapter 1.
First Maccabees chapter 1, yeah.
Wow, sorry about that.
Oh, no sweat. Go ahead.
Verse 8. I'm going to start back at verse 8.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Verse 8. And his servants bare rule, every one in his place.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 9. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years.
Read on.
And evils were multiplied in the earth.
And what?
And evils were multiplied in the earth.
Evils was multiplied in the earth. Why? Because of the rulership of these people, man. Look, we don't know these people. We don't know. We've been told from our ancestors to forgive and forget. Don't worry, but that was a long time ago. They're different. They gonna come around. Check this out, man. They spread what in the earth, brother?
And evils were multiplied in the earth.
Evils were multiplied. You understand what that means, man? That is the description of the devil. To multiply evils throughout the earth. How did they multiply these evils? With their culture. With their culture and their religions that they spread around the earth. Which is why they want you to be a stinking Christian.
Right.
They want you to be up in some Christian church touching and molesting children. That's what they got for you. Because that's what's going on in the bathroom of your church.
Right.
With your pastor. You understand? That's touching little boys. And then that's what Jamal Bryant went to LA to do. To spread his homosexuality amongst the people, man. Atlanta, what did I say? Los Angeles. Atlanta. Atlanta. What is Atlanta? What is Chocolate City, ain't it? Where all black people do the business. He went to what? To predatorize black people. Why? Because that's what Christianity tells you to do. To be a predator to black people. To sin against God. It tells you that the laws have been done away with. You can eat that pork.
Right.
You can touch that man's wife. You can do whatever the hell you want. Laws have been done away with. Jesus is God. It's a miracle. You know, all sins is forgiven. You ain't got to worry about being an out and out fluid homosexual. You can come in and play the tambourines and play the goddamn organ and touch whoever child you want to touch.
Right.
Because you're a Christian and Master made this religion for us to flourish in America. And who flourishes in America? The pastor. The pastor is rich. He drives a Lamborghini, he drives a Porsche, and where do you live? In that Section 8, in that projects, and giving him every goddamn cent you got because you're simple, and we don't understand who he's working for, the goddamn devil. He's taking on the religion of the devil, the religion of these people that we just read in the Bible, the specific nation of Greece, or Chittim, which is the ancient name for Greece.
Right.
The Bible specifically says that they multiply evils in the earth. We don't know who these people are, man. Let's get to you got something?
Yeah, that was like that's like the society that we live in now. You know, it says and evils were multiplied in the earth. The longer they reign, the more they reign, or the more they rule, the more wicked their society becomes. You understand? It's in our oppressor's nature to become wickeder and wickeder. The more wicked he becomes, the more he rules, the more wicked he becomes.
Goddamn right. You know, just a few years ago, it would have been scorned upon for a man to have breasts.
Exactly.
For a man to be a full out gay or sissy. Can I say that? I can't say sissy. To be, I can't even say that. Damn, they gonna flag the whole goddamn thing. But look, it wasn't. I don't even know if I can say that. But it wasn't prudent for a man to bring out his femininity like that.
Right.
But as we go along, they start coming out with what they really are and what they really want you to be, which is why the first so-called black man president pushed that homosexual agenda amongst us so that we would think it's okay. Because of course, we sitting up here thinking that he's the black messiah, can't do no wrong, but we not understanding that he's working for the devil. He's working for the agenda of those people. He wanted a grown man who calls himself a female to be able to be in the bathroom with your little girl.
Right.
But you think he's something good. We don't know these people, man. Let's get to the presentation real quick. And enough time on that overview. Let's go to the next slide. And I think remember, click over there and click on what's going. All right. And then the next one, I think we're gonna start with Cain and Abel. And what's the scripture? I think it's the next one. Move to the next one.
I'm at the Cain and Abel now.
All right, what is Genesis 4? Move to the next one.
Genesis 4:3 is the next one.
Yeah, let's get Genesis 4 and 3. Get on that real quick. We're going to break down Cain and Abel because this is where the wicked started. Now, this is not, Cain wasn't the first actual Caucasian or white man. He had the spirit of Esau in the earth. All right, and the reason why we're going to start with him so that we can understand where this evil started at, man. Where this wickedness started at. So we can understand how it operates and how it moves and how it works. So that we understand that we are in a great amount of danger, brother. A great amount of danger. All right? And the Lord is making it happen. You understand? We're going to understand the wicked tonight. That's what we're getting into. We're going to go in and out of history. But we're going to start with Cain because this is where it started. Go ahead, brother.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 3. And in process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. Verse 4. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flocks, and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel, and to his offering.
The Lord loved Abel and his offering because Abel was pure. Abel gave the Lord what he wanted, what he asked for. The Lord wanted a blood sacrifice. He gave the Lord what he wanted. The same way the Lord says to do what he wants you to do. The same way he says that love is following his commandments. Meaning love is doing what the Most High says to do. That's love. If you love him, you'll do what he says to do. You understand? If you hate him, you'll go against him. And that's what Cain did. Cain wanted to give the Lord what he wanted to give the Lord. Some goddamn veggies. The Lord didn't want veggies. All right? The Lord had respect unto Abel. Respect unto his spirit. And that's why the Lord chose Jacob. Because Jacob is a relative ascended directly from the people that God chose. Read on, brother.
Verse 5. But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect.
He had no respect for Cain. Why? Because Cain wanted to do what the hell he wanted to do. And that's the spirit of the wicked. They do what they want to do and think it's better. Think it's more logical. Just like Europeans can come over to America, destroy and genocide an entire continent, and say we civilized it. Right. It's the same logic. The same logic. The wicked always think they're bringing something and doing something better than what the Most High has. Narcissism, man. Read on, brother.
And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell.
Always mad. People always mad. What the hell they marching up in the Capitol for? We the ones being strung up by the goddamn police.
Right.
We the ones being shot in the back by the damn police. You know what I'm saying? They the ones making laws to stop and frisk. You understand?
Right.
We the ones suffering in an oppressive regime. But they mad. They mad as hell. They went to that Capitol building for a revolution. They only killed a couple of people. Could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse. Because you understand, Satan was going up against Satan. But when it comes to them going up against you, it ain't going to be no holds bars. It's going to be ripping out intestines and disemboweling in the middle of the street and burning and cutting off genitals. You know, they used to cut off our genitals and leave them in a jar, pickle them with a bit of whiskey, and make postcards to our lynching and our murders. Macabre, ain't it? But you don't think Karen would do that. I don't think Karen would do that, though. You don't know these people. You don't know these people. Let's finish up the spirit of these people. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 6, and the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen?
Why are you always mad? I asked you to give me this and do this. That's all you had to do. But you couldn't do it. You wanted to give me what you wanted to give me, and in your simple mind, you think you smarter than God, and it's better for me to have your steaks and your vegetables instead of what the hell I asked you for. Read on.
Verse 7, if thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door.
It's very simple. Is you going along with the presentation? As you read in the scriptures? Yeah, let's go to the next one and next one up to where we at in the scripture. All right. Next time we gotta put it on the TV so the brother can see it. I didn't think he was coming though. Go ahead, brother. What's your question? Say again? Yeah, go ahead, brother. Go ahead, help yourself. No sweat. No sweat. All right, where you at, my thumb?
Middle of 7.
Start back over in 7.
All right, go ahead.
Verse 7, if thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door.
If you do what the Lord said, you'll always be accepted. If not, you're going to fall into wickedness and debauchery and murder. That's how it always happens, man. If you don't do what the Most High tells you to do, you fall in the way of sin, man. That's what the Bible was written for our learning. We don't have to experience the type of slaughter that our ancestors did. Why? Because we have the key. We have the key, and we have prophets to break down what this book is talking about. The prophecies and the warnings thereof. We don't have to get slaughtered again. We don't have to hang from light poles from street to street like we did at the Red Day, where they came through New York and just slaughtered us and just murdered us. They call it the Red Day, but it was more like a couple of months.
Right.
They hung us from street poles, from street to street, and let our bodies rot there for our children to watch. But we think they different now. Read on, brother.
And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. Verse 8, and Cain talked with Abel, his brother. And it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him.
Slew him means he murdered him, man. He murdered him out of sheer jealousy. And let me give it some context so you understand the seriousness of this act. This is the first murder in the Bible, and it was done out of sheer jealousy. 10 years after slavery, we built a city. As a matter of fact, we built a couple of cities. From sea to sea. If you want to understand and know where they're at, you can't see them today because they've mostly been plowed over by the roads and the super highways that they've created. Why did they roll over those black cities with those super highways? Because they're crime scenes. They're crime scenes. And they're America's shame. All right? But I'm going to talk about one in particular, because we talk about Black Wall Street or Tulsa, Oklahoma a lot. It was razed to the ground because of jealousy. Because white men coming home from World War I was jealous of the progress of black people. They had been over there fighting for their lives and, murdering and killing to expand the filth of America. And when they came back to America, guess who was wearing suits and ties and strutting their necks? In this city that was built by Negroes, the lowest of the low, the slaves. Guess what? The white communities was in free fall, brother.
Right.
They was going in something called the Great Depression. And they was looking over here at Negroes going to work and driving cars and opening car companies and airports and gold mines and investing and opening banks and having bricks of gold, and they couldn't take it, brother. They could not take it. The same way Cain could not take the jealousy of the Lord loving Abel. When all Cain had to do was give the Lord what he wanted.
Right.
All white folks had to do coming home from World War I was use their own innovation. Build their own cities. That's all they had to do. But they couldn't take it. So they got in their airplanes and they used any ridiculous, stupid excuse that they needed to use. See, they always gotta have something. It was a black man that touched a white woman. So everybody had to die. 3,000 black children, black little girls, bombed from planes, shot in the head, shot in the neck, shot in the back, with no humanity at all. Banks looted, stores looted. And when black people came to collect the insurances, they were murdered. You've been paying the insurance to a company for years. You go to collect the insurance and they shoot you in the face out of sheer anger and jealousy because you've always been better than them. Always. Black Wall Street was raised to the ground out of jealousy. The same jealousy that affected the heart of Cain.
Right.
No different. No different. That affected him as much as to kill his own brother. His own flesh and blood brother. That's taboo. Go ahead, brother. And catch up on the presentation there.
Verse 9. And the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper?
I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? What? He was trying to hide the crime scene.
Right.
The same reason they made 95, 105, Route 50 to hide the crime scene.
Right.
I don't know where my brother at. I don't know. Can you find all them black cities and towns? Brother, they've been plowed over. Am I my brother's keeper?
Right.
You ever wondered why the roads zigzag? Why not just go straight through Baltimore, straight through DC, straight through Virginia? Why is it doing all this?
Right.
Read on, brother. Come on.
Verse 10.
Yeah.
And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground.
Cry from the ground. The blood cried from the ground. Mathella, you ever heard of the Devil's Punch Bowl? I know you have. Yes, sir. Which city is that in again, or county? Was it Mississippi? Natchez, Mississippi. That's where it was. The Devil's Punch Bowl, Natchez, Mississippi is. No, I'm sure it was Natchez, Mississippi. I'm sure of that. What happened is they created a fort. They created a fort after they burned down all these black towns and cities, of course. And of course, they had their black laws that you talk about all the time. Black codes that you like to go through. My thumb like to kick their history. And they used to put the men on chain gangs, but they would send the black women and children to concentration camps, like in Natchez, Mississippi. Right. They call it the Devil's Punch Bowl because it was an indentation. It was a dip in the earth that went down to the river there, and they built a fort around it and built up, big gates, big fort, right? And they would send the black men on chain gangs, and that's where the women and children would stay. But this is the problem. They wouldn't feed the women and children. They starved them, man. They starved the women and children out.
Right.
And the women would beg for them to take the child out and bury the child. Because, of course, the child would die of malnutrition first. Right. Of course. Women might have had a little bit more fat on them or whatever and might have lived a little longer. But, they starved our people out. And these people were so unempathetic that they threw the shovels over the gate and told them to bury the babies where they lie. All right? So they buried them right there. They buried them right there, man. So in the so-called Devil's Punch Bowl, it's a lot of bones. A lot of bones all over the place. Until this day, when the Mississippi River overflows, those bones show up in white people's perfectly manicured lawns. Those bones come up from under the ground.
Right.
The crimes that they can't escape from. The blood that they put in the ground. Those bones come up even to this day, man. The blood was calling for the Lord under the ground. Our blood been soaked into the soil of America for centuries.
Right.
And they don't care. They've never cared. Even when them bones show up. Man, they don't give a damn. They just throw them in the trash and move on. They know what happened. They know what the hell happened. And it's not even taboo for them. They celebrate in the carnage and the barbarism that they've done to us, man. That's what these people are. But the Lord knows all of that blood from Natchez is calling out to the Lord. The same way Sandra Bland, the same way Breonna Taylor, Freddie Gray, the same way all of their blood is calling out to the Lord. Right. There will be justice, but it won't come by these people. We don't understand how vicious these people are. We don't understand. All right, let's move on.
Verse 11. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand.
Cursed from the earth, man. It's the reason why he has to split the genes of every kind of goddamn plant he can get his hands on and make all kinds of genetically modified GMOs, this and that for you to eat, because the ground won't yield to them. The ground won't yield to them because of their crimes, because of their obsessive murder. Read on, brother. And go to the next.
When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth.
It won't yield the strength. It's not going to yield the strength. So this is why he has to work on seed that'll grow in rock or seed that'll grow anywhere. He doesn't understand why he just can't grow farms and different things as people did in the past, because of his crimes, because of the way he's treated the earth, the waste that he's put in the water, the animals that he's murdered. His crimes are the reason why the plants and the herbs won't yield to him. He has to use his disgusting science,
right,
that destroys the cells of people, man. Read on.
Verse 13. And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear.
Matter of fact, go back to 12. Read 12 again. 12.
Verse 12. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth.
A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. We talked about Alexander the Greek, or Alexander the Great. He left his homeland to go pillage, destroy, and take other people's land. America is not the land of these people. Europe is not the land of those people. They took Europe like they took America. They're vagabonds. They're vagabonds going through the earth, taking, pillaging, and murdering. Not working together with people for a specific end. Not working in concert with people, but murdering them, destroying them, and making their culture what they want it to be. Making them follow the abominations that the so-called European has been following for centuries. Making other cultures and nations of people worship them as gods. That's what they've done throughout the earth. They went into Australia on an island named Tasmania. There was a people in Australia on the island called Tasmania. They were called the Tasmanians. They don't exist today. They're extinct. Because the oppressor that you worship as God made them extinct. He murdered every single solitary Tasmanian. Oh, that's not the end of it. Brother, that's not the end. What he also did was made cartoons out of the people he just murdered. You understand? The Tasmanian devil, something like that. That's how the Tasmanians sounded to the oppressor when he got there. So he made a cartoon that depicted that depicts a savage and a wild people, as if that could ever be a reason to exterminate a people, man. We don't know who these people are. Did you have something, brother?
Yes, yes, sir. I wanted to, is it true yet, well, I'm pretty sure as far as the first Ammonites and first Korean, Chinese and Japanese were black, and the Khazar tribe murdered them all down, years ago. I was doing a little research. I just want to know, is it true?
Well, let's first.
I ain't jump off the subject. I'm sorry.
No, you good, brother. I handle that real quick. First, let's understand when we say the word black. All right, so we can get an understanding of what the word black is in the Bible and how we use it and who we use it for. The word black is referring to a condition. All right, a condition of suffering, a condition of plague that have been put upon, and curses that have been put upon a specific people. So as far as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we call ourselves blacks. We've been doing it from the beginning of time. It's in the Bible where we call ourselves Niger, which is black and Latin. The word Niger or nigger, which is black in Spanish, or Negro. So those are the people we say are black. Now, there are other people on the earth that have dark skin, have woolly hair. The Ammonites, God dang, my mind, what are the Chinese people? The Moabites and the Ammonites, they did have darker skin at a point in time, especially when they first came about. They were a dark-skinned people. A lot of them had woolly hair too. Over time, they changed to a lighter-skinned people, but they weren't a different people back then. You understand? They weren't black. They weren't us. So when we say black, we specifically talking about us. They were a dark-skinned people. All right, they had dark skin, but they were still Ammonites and Moabites. You understand? And of course, the so-called oppressor, who is the biggest rapist on the earth, he came about in Eurasia. So they've been mixing with him a lot of the time. Esau's seed was spoiled dealing with him. And if you go back to, I believe it's the Qin dynasty. No, Salakia. I'm talking about Ammon right now. It is, it has something to do with emerald. But it's one of their dynasties that they buried thousands of soldiers under the ground, depictions of soldiers. All of them had different faces. All of them had actual armor on. Hold on for 1 second. All of them had actual armor on. They buried them all around a pyramid. And I'm not sure of that. I'm going to have to look it up because I haven't spoken about them in a long time. But they had black paint on them. So they were a dark-skinned people. At a very good time, they were dark-skinned. You understand? But of course, the Japanese, being very cognizant of race, they scraped off of that pain when they bring them up out of the ground. So all of them had dark painting, and yes, to answer your question, yes, they were a dark-skinned people. They were not so-called black. They were not associated with our nation. So all dark-skinned, woolly-haired people are not a part of you. Africans, not a part of you. All right, we are a specific race of people, a specific nation of people, and we know who we are specifically by the curses in the Bible and by the history of where we came from in 70 AD through Africa and where we are today. So don't get skin color mixed up with that nation or that race of people. All right, go ahead, Matha.
I was going to say, yeah, some of those, yeah, they not our people, but a lot of those, some of those people, if you go back to some of their backlands, some of their marshlands, some of their back, where they don't show a lot of it, you still have some of those darker people there. You know, they are not us, but that's the people that they don't show. What they pretty much show is just like Officer Kawan said, they show their lighter version of them that mix with the oppressors. You know, and this is the reason why, just like he said, they look at race, skin tone. And this is why when you look at Ammon and you look at Moab, everything that they do, you only see that light version of them. You don't see the dark version. And then when you look into, I don't mean to take too much time, sir, but when you look at those encyclopedias or they go into their deep, you see the darker people. Sometimes they show the darker people.
It's pretty much colorism,
Right.
in the way the oppressor has spread that throughout the earth. Remember that the wicked is in control of the earth right now. So they spread their ways of colorism throughout the earth. So the more you are closely associated with our skin color,
Right.
the more society looks at you as being at the bottom. Nobody wants to live their life like, Negroes and Spics and Redskins.
Right.
Nobody wants to live their life like that. So they want to get in contact with their lighter side. They want to be lighter skinned. And that's how they've made it and brung their children about. And that's why they've gotten lighter over the years.
Right.
Because of the barbarism and racism of this oppressor. All right?
Wow.
The crimes.
Wow.
The crimes. All right, where we at?
At 12, you want to start over on 12 or you want to keep it?
No, I'll keep going.
Okay. Verse 13, Genesis chapter 4, verse 13. And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear.
Punishment is greater than I can bear. Them people don't never want to go through nothing, man. They don't never want to be punished for their barbarism.
Right.
For the disgusting crimes that they commit, they never want to be punished for. What was her name? Amber. What was the police officer name?
Geiger.
Amber Geiger, that went in and murdered the black man. Now, she never said that she actually murdered him. What she was saying is that she walked in his house, and he wouldn't follow her commands. And that's the reason why she murdered him. But come to find out, the trajectory of the bullet was down. So the brother was sitting on the couch, or he was crouched on the floor, and he was doing like this. Because of course, your muscles all up here expand and contract. And they can see exactly where that bullet entered those fabrics and layers of muscle. The brother was on the ground like this. So he was not coming towards her, trying to harm her. He was fearing for his life, man. And even in a cold-blooded murder like that, she's appealing the 10 years.
Right.
For cold-blooded first-degree murder, she's appealing that. Like, they never want to pay the littlest price for their crimes. Do you know in the Capitol building today, they talking about they don't want to charge everybody? They're talking about, check this out. Now, before I say that, right, during the Freddie Gray riots right here in Baltimore, they checked every camera in the city, every traffic camera, every camera that came from every business. They got every brother's face and they prosecuted them brothers and they gave them, goddamn, the bails was ridiculous. The bails on 17s and 18-year-olds was a goddamn ransom. Like, it was so ridiculous that federal judges was like, God damn, did they murder somebody? Well, these people went up in the Capitol. They actually murdered people. They murdered a police officer with a goddamn fire hydrant, man. They hurt police, pushed them, beat them. They're not going to charge everybody because they're saying, well, some of them didn't participate in the actual violence. What? What? Now you can see that they treat themselves in a completely different way than they treat us. So we're not going to prosecute someone, even though they were illegally there and participating in crimes that got people killed, in crimes of property, crimes of vandalism, of breaking and entering, of assaulting people's lives. It was congressmen that said, I'm surprised we made it out there alive. That's how close it was. But they're talking about not charging some of those people. There is no justice here, man. And these people, in every situation, they can't bear to take the punishment of their crimes. Right. But the Lord going to charge them with every goddamn murder, every word they spoken against black people, and it's going to be harsh, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they not going to want to bear it. They would rather destroy the earth than go through a damn punishment for what they've done to this people, man. That's what they are. That's why you're going to have nuclear warfare. Because they don't want to deal with their punishment. That's why you have commercials of white men marrying black women. On every commercial, it's a white man and black woman. Because they know their time is short. And they want us to marry and intermingle with them. Yeah.
He said the one black guy that was in the whole, what's the name, they locked him up. Not only did they lock him up, they said he can't get out until his court date.
Mm-hmm.
But the little white girl that stole Nancy Pelosi's computer
She out.
and tried to sell it. Well, hold up, wait a minute. Tried to sell it to the Russians.
Mm-hmm.
This is espionage. Mm-hmm. This goes directly against the flag and the country, right? Not only did they release her, but they released a 22-year-old woman into the custody of her mother. And she don't even live with her mother. So understand where we're coming from. They don't want to serve the penalty that they deserve. Not only that, they don't even want to give it to their own people. But they'll put you, because the dude had a bat and swung at the police and hit the police with a bat. He stays in jail until his court date. But the dudes that killed the police, they out on the ball. You feel me?
All right, hey, grab me. The wild.
You want both?
Yeah, come.
This is your cup, right?
Come. Let me see, brother. Get me Genesis 4:16.
4:16.
Come.
Genesis 4:16.
Mm-hmm.
And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden.
So I can't accept a punishment. It's too much. People that can see, you know what? Go back to 15.
15.
He might have let, yeah, go back to
Genesis 4 and
15.
15.
Right.
And the Lord said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold.
Now, since Cain was whining and weeping about he can't accept his punishment, and mind you, this is after he murdered his own brother for nothing more than jealousy, when all he had to do was do what the Lord said. Now, he would not give his brother the subtleties of mercy, even the smallest mercy, as to not kill him. Even the smallest mercy he would not bestow upon his brother. But he asked the Lord, he tells the Lord that this punishment is too much for me to bear, that people will kill me. Well, you took somebody else's life for no reason, unjustly. Don't you think you should be murdered too? But the Lord said, read 15 again.
Genesis 4 and 15. And the Lord said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold.
And this is why nothing seemingly ever happens to white society. Of all the dirt and the barbarism they do, nothing seems to come back on them. Because the Lord said doing something to them will come back on you tenfold. That's why you can't pick up a gun and go out there and want some vengeance. You should never do that, because it'll come back on you tenfold. You will be the one dead. This is the reason why all throughout history they've been able to slay and murder and be absolutely downright evil to every goddamn nation, and that judgment just seems never to come to them. Brother, understand, it will come. It will come. The Lord will destroy the whole goddamn nation and everything. They won't even be able to build cities, to build nothing anymore.
Right.
Because they've been getting away with this crap for centuries. The Lord did this because of our disobedience. Understand that. He's able to rise because of our disobedience. If we start doing what the hell we supposed to do, he'll have respect unto us like he had unto Abel. He'll have respect unto us. You know what that means? He'll listen to us. He won't turn his back. He won't allow this monster to keep lynching us, murdering us, shooting us in the back. Won't allow him to escape justice. All right, let's get 16, Mathon.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 16. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod, on the east of Eden.
All right, let's move on. Move on with the presentation. We got a long way to go. We only got about 15 minutes.
We had Jacob and Esau.
Let's roll. Let's go to Jacob and Esau.
Genesis 25, 22. Genesis chapter 25, verse 22.
All right, so we went through Cain. We got through Cain, so you know some of the attributes of the wicked. Now we're going to get to the very first so-called white man appearance on the earth in his own skin. Read, brother.
Genesis chapter 25, verse 22. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus?
So I got to move a little fast, but They struggled together within her. This is the same struggle that goes on today. Jacob and Esau struggling in the womb of Rebekah. This is the same struggle that we are dealing with today, the same strife. This is the reason why this happened thousands of years ago, that we've had problems with these people in this nation. The Lord made them the way they are. That strife cannot be settled with us and them. It has to be settled by the Most High. How do we know that Esau is them? He's going to give us all the attributes of these people, man. And we gotta go through the blessings of Isaac, because this is the only way you're gonna understand these people, man. Read on, brother.
And she went to inquire of the Lord. Verse 23. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
2 nations of people are in thy womb. We are 2 different nations of people, 2 different manner of people. Our spirits are different, brother. We are a completely different people from them. They are born wicked and estranged from the womb. We learn to be that way from them. We have to be absent and away from them to detox from them and their wicked ways. Oh man, I got a precept for this, but I ain't got time. I really want to do that precept. But read on, brother.
And the people, Salakia, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger.
Look, of course, we are the stronger. We are the younger, and we are the stronger. We dominate every sport. We dominate America with our strength. And you should ask, as I've asked, how the hell could these weak little pink people dominate us and enslave us so thoroughly? Whew. That's a damn good question, ain't it?
Right.
How can, as weak as they are, deal with us so grievously and just dominate us in such totality? Because that's what the Lord wanted. Right, that's what the Lord wanted. Read on, brother.
Verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb.
Read on.
And the first came out red all over, like an hairy garment.
Make sure the presentation keeps up. That's right. It came out red. Nobody's white. Nobody's black. All right. All right. Red, meaning the blood showeth forth through the skin. When a so-called Caucasian is born, it's red. You see the red in the neck, the red throughout the forehead, throughout the ears, throughout the backside. It's red because the blood is, you can see the blood flowing through the transparency of the body. That's why they're actually red. Read on.
And they called his name Esau.
They called him Esau, which means wasted away. You understand? Wasted away. Because that's what he looked like. He was different. You understand? When they saw him, you know what I'm saying? Isaac is like, is this my baby? Like this is 2 different nations, 2 completely different people coming out here. This first one that came out, is this even mine? Like, what is this? You understand? Read on, brother.
Verse 26. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel.
They didn't describe Jacob at all. They didn't describe him at all. Because there was nothing unusual about Jacob. He wasn't red. He wasn't transparent. He wasn't hairy. He looked like a regular human being,
Right.
a regular person at that time. Nobody had been born red and hairy all over. This was a nation of demons, man. The Greeks, the Romans, the devil, the dragon, the red dragon, the British, the Franks. Read on, brother.
And his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 60 years old when she bare them.
Read on. Keep up with the presentation.
Verse 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter.
Esau was a what?
Esau was a cunning hunter.
Esau was a cunning hunter. As in, like on this presentation, you see a giraffe. That giraffe is a black giraffe. It's not many on the earth. Like this oppressor paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to Africa to murder it. And when she murdered it, it became beautiful. And beautiful to mount in her living room. Because they have no respect for nature and the beauty of the Most High. They have no respect for it. They're exactly the opposite of God. They wish to destroy. Who wants to kill something that they don't eat? Why kill a lion? For what? Let him roam his territory and weed out the weak animals and live his life so that the earth continue to move in nature as the way the Most High meant it to work. Why is Shamu in an aquarium? Why is Shamu in an aquarium? I saw a killer whale in an aquarium, and it was two devils riding on his stomach and was massaging his sexual organs to get him to get his sperm to inseminate another killer whale in the aquarium next to it. Why are these killer whales being sexually violated in a goddamn aquarium, man? Why? Because of the oppression and exploitation of these people. He's a hunter. He hunts. He hunted those killer whales, put them in aquariums to make money off of them, bred them by sexually exploiting them, and made more and more money off of them. People come from around the world to see Shamu do tricks in an aquarium because of the filth and the evil of this society, man. It's disgusting. Read on, bro. Go ahead.
Verse 27, Genesis chapter 4, verse 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man.
Esau was a man of the field, out in the field. You know what they do. Hunting pigs, hunting whatever exotic animal they can hunt, and killing whatever they can kill, because it's not beautiful until it's dead. It's not impressive until it's dead. He doesn't understand and comprehend nature until it's dead and it's no longer a part of nature. But he loves to distort it and make it different. He creates exotic animals. Like he'll take a wild cat and mate it with a domestic cat and then sell the offspring for thousands of dollars. He got a designer tiger called a liger, where he mates a tiger, a female tiger with a male lion, and you get a bigger cat. And people come from all around the world to see this 1,000-pound liger that couldn't live in the wild. It couldn't live in the wild. Why? Because the Most High may put into nature different things to stop different species from actually mating. So this thing cannot mate. So you cannot make a new species from both of those species. Nevertheless, he continues to make these abominations because he's against nature and he hates God. Let's read on, brother.
Genesis chapter 25, verse 28. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison.
And he loved his son Esau because he could hunt. You understand? Go ahead.
But Rebekah loved Jacob, and Jacob sawed pottage.
Rebekah loved Jacob because Rebekah understood the prophecy that she had with Jacob. She understood that Esau was not her child. She understood that the spirit of this nation was not her people, and he could not be in charge because of the evil of his spirit. She understood, and she believed in that prophecy, and she knew that Jacob was the one that lineage had to come out of. He was the one that was supposed to get the inheritance of Isaac. Read on, brother.
Verse 29, and Jacob sawed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. Verse 30, and Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage.
All right, so Jacob sawed pottage. He was, cooking up some meat. But Esau came from the field. He was hungry. He said, give me that. Before he was even done, give me that raw meat. That's why Esau go out in the field, kill a deer, cut the heart out, and eat the goddamn heart. Just take a bite out of the heart or a bite out of the liver. Because he loves that raw meat. He likes the destruction of nature. He likes to do that. Read on.
And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with the same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom.
Read.
And verse 31, and Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright.
Because he was smart. He was smart. He understood that these people are greedy. And they go by their emotions and how they feel. You understand? They'll do anything to deal with how they feeling and their greed at that moment. At that moment, he wanted some blood and something to eat on his stomach. He was willing to sell any goddamn thing because he's emotional, he's against God, he don't give a damn about no inheritance, he don't give a damn about God's inheritance. All he wants to do is satiate his emotions, satiate his flesh. That's why he'll be a homosexual. It don't mean nothing to him. He'll sleep with another man to satiate his flesh. They can't help their goddamn self. Right. Read, brother.
Verse 32, and Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do to me? Verse 33.
He ain't give a damn about the birthright. Jake ain't steal that birthright. Jake was smart. And not only that, Jake knew what was important. What was important for him, for his lineage, for his inheritance. He knew what was important.
Right.
Esau didn't give a damn. Esau wanted to fill his belly at that time. Jacob is smart. This is why we gotta be smart. We can't go by emotion, man. We gotta deal with practical knowledge. This is how Jake won. Thank God for Jake. Thank God for Rebecca, that sister who wasn't dealing with emotion. She wasn't fitting to abort her goddamn baby.
Right.
She wasn't fitting to look in the blue steel eyes of a goddamn murderer and call it her people. She listened to the Lord.
Right.
Thank the Lord for Rebecca. Thank the Lord for Jacob, man. Read on, brother.
Verse 33. And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he sware unto him. And he sold his birthright unto Jacob.
How profane is that? How profane is to sell your God-given birthright to your brother for a piece of raw meat? You are a stinking piece of filth. And that's what Esau is. Jake ain't steal nothing. Jake did what was right in the sight of the Lord because it was his inheritance. And the angel passed that message to his mother, who stood strong in the face of adversity. Read on, brother.
I'm going to go to that next. Genesis 27:1.
Where we at?
That was the
Last one.
33. On that slide.
All right.
Jumps to 27:1.
All right.
Genesis chapter 27, verse 1. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son and said unto him, my son. And he said unto him, behold, here I am. Verse 2. And he said, behold, now I am old. I know not the day of my death. Verse 3. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field and take me some venison.
So what his father was saying basically is, it's about the time for me to die. So I want you to go out, kill me a deer, cook me up some of that venison, because that's the reason why Isaac loved him for real, is because he could go out there and hunt and kill and did what, the oppressor does best. Kill and kill and kill every goddamn thing and hunt every damn thing in sight. But the mastery of his younger son he could not see. Rebecca saw that. She understood that Jake had to have that inheritance because something wasn't right with Esau. Esau was going to kill and murder and pillage every goddamn body on the earth. She knew that he could not have that inheritance. She knew from the angel, she knew from her instincts as a mother that something ain't right with this thing. It ain't right. Read on.
Verse 4. And make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. Verse 5. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son. And Esau went to the field to hunt for venison, and to bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat, and bless thee before the Lord, before my death.
Good night. Rebecca was listening to this, hearing all of this. You keeping up with the
Animal concert.
That's what's up. Well, Rebecca was listening to all this, keeping up with this because she was going to deal with this little bit of subterfuge to make for goddamn sure that Jake had the goddamn inheritance. Because Esau would have destroyed every damn thing. Esau was everything that was against God. Rebecca knew it. Isaac did not. Read on.
Verse 8, now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. Verse 9, go now to the flock and fetch me thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth.
So she's dealing with subterfuge right now. She's saying, go out there, get these kids, and we gonna cook them up like they some venison, and we gonna give them to your father. You know what it is. Read on, brother.
Verse 10, and thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death.
Read on.
Verse 11, and Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. Verse 12, my father peradventure will fail me, and he shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing.
Your father gonna figure me and sniff me out. I'm trying to look like and act like my brother because Esau was a damn caveman. Just like what you see on the screen. He was a damn caveman, man. Stinking and nasty and hairy and just what you come to work in the morning and deal with. That's what Esau was.
Right.
Read on.
Verse 13. And his mother said unto him, upon me be thy curse, my son. Only obey my voice and go fetch me them.
So she was ready to take on any damn thing, but she was going to make for sure that Jacob got the Lord's blessing. Why? Because it was right for her nation. She didn't give a damn about herself because she would have been dealt with in a couple of different realms, but she gave a damn about her nation. She wasn't fitting to let black people die at the hands of these goddamn savages, or let them take over at the hands of these damn savages, because at the end of the day, that sacrifice is going to bring us out of this.
Right.
It's going to bring us out of this slavery, man, and this oppression. That sacrifice that sister made thousands of years ago. Read, brother.
Verse 14, and he went and fetched and brought them to his mother, and his mother made savory meat, such as his father loved. Verse 15, and Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob her son, her younger son. Verse 16, and she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands, and upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And he said unto his father, and said, Salakia, and he came unto his father and said, my father. And he said, here I am. Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn. I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. Verse 20, and Isaac said unto his son, how is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, because the Lord thy God brought it to me. Verse 21, and Isaac said unto Jacob, come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him and said, the voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy, as his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him. And he said, art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison.
Now, so what happened here is that Jacob came in with subterfuge, and he made Isaac believe that he was Esau, and he got the blessings.
Right.
Pretty much is what happened. So we got to skip a little bit forward here. So skip up a little bit on the presentation. Salakia, we behind people, so I gotta move a little bit fast.
You want to go to 34:41?
Skip up on the skip one up. Okay, Genesis 27:34. I want to go to where they get the blessings of Esau, where Isaac blessed Esau. Let me find out where exactly that's at. 27. I want to get where Isaac blessed Esau, where
That should be. That's 29, right?
let me see.
Oh, no, it's 28. 28.
The 28, and Isaac called Jacob and blessed him. All right. Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and said,
It's Malcolm in 27 and 28 he blessed him.
I want where Isaac blessed Esau. Where Isaac blessed Esau. See, press
That
Isaac.
starts at 28.
Starts at 28.
Yeah, Genesis 27 and 28. I could actually start at 27 if you want.
No, go ahead, start at 28.
Genesis chapter 27, verse 28. Therefore, God give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Verse 29. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren.
Salakia, go to 6. Go to verse 6.
26?
6.
Oh,
Verse 6. Genesis 28 and verse 6.
okay.
Read.
Genesis chapter 28, verse 6. When Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him away to Pan the ram to take him a wife from thence, and that as he blessed him, he gave him a charge, saying, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Verse 7. And that Jacob obeyed his father and his mother, and was gone to Padanaram. Verse 8. And Esau, seeing that the daughters of Canaan pleased not Isaac his father.
Wait a minute, that's too far. That's too far in the future. Wait a minute, that went too far.
That's why I said it.
Wait a minute, we want to get where Isaac blessed Esau.
You mean Jacob?
Esau, not Jacob.
Oh.
Esau. When Isaac blessed Esau, that's the last we want to do.
Oh, that's 34.
And give me 1 second. we at? The sheriff is not because.
39.
Isaac is father answered and said. All right, 39. So Genesis 27 and 39.
Come.
Go ahead.
Start there or above it.
No, Genesis 27 and 39.
Genesis chapter 27, verse 39. And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be thy fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. Verse 40. And by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt thou serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion.
Good God Almighty. There it is, right there. There it is, right there. Your dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth by the sword. You understand? These people came to Australia, to the Americas, to Europe by the sword. They murdered and destroyed by the sword. You understand? There was no peace talks. There was no negotiation. They came by what is called the sword. These are the blessings of Isaac. That's how you know who these people are. They have the blessings of Isaac. They have the blessings of the sword. Who has the M16?
Right.
Centrifuge missiles, the tank, intercontinental ballistic missiles, shock and awe, MAD, mutual acquired destruction, man. These people, they were blessed with the sword to go around and to genocide everybody else. You understand? That's the people that we're dealing with today. I apologize. We just we ran real crazy on time after where we was at. Go a little bit forward on the presentation. Yeah, we have Genesis 27. Go a little bit forward on the presentation so we can get to the end.
That was it right there.
Just show
Murderous
us.
horde of Esau.
You at the end, all right. The murderous horde of Esau. And it all culminated on what you would call Rome, where they murdered and destroyed and pillaged every goddamn part of the earth. And then they came back in the Renaissance era and they went to West Africa and they was able to acquire black people again and enslave and murder and exploit. And that went all the way up to the day. And God damn it, they didn't march on their own capital for the right to once again murder black people. We better understand what the hell is going on, man. Salakia, we've run out of time. I'm going to turn the class over to Priest and Officer Matham Shakaria. Go ahead and end it out, brother.
Okay, sir.
Come. Right.
Security announcements. We are the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the commanding General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves to the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry, tithe, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21, and Malachi 3, 8 to 10, means 10th in the Hebrew, and is pronounced ma'ashir. A tenth of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, a free will offering for the priest, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give, up and coming Holy Convocation, April 24th, the Passover is being held in Houston. Get your plane flights together. Make sure you book your a hotel room and get ready for a big occasion. Another up and coming Holy Convocation is the Feast of Purim, which is February the 25th, Thursday, February 25th, and Friday, February 26th. Remind Akim and Aquakim to check on social media such as isupk.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and material. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, we're going to give one courteous salute to the teacher, men of Israel. A Majid. A Majid Shabbat. A Majid Barak. Yahweh Shimi Al-Shabarakatah.
Yahweh Shimi Al-Shabarakatah.
Class dismissed. Listen well to what I tell. No calling because pain. Something that